That's what I was doing.
Like teachers are last year.
Right. And our students getting on that day.
So it's.
You know, always have 15 minutes of fun since I got this. A watch.
No, they have alarms in, yes. I think it's just last year they started putting the alarms.
My dear daughter got me a watch for Christmas. Then we have it next year.
I used to be like 7 hours over because they used to be a flight from Omaha. To 11 to New York. And my flight to New York was 6 just to go to New York airport was 6 hours. And then get on a flight.
That's your class.
And Stevens Lake got the standby, but it was, you have to get there so early, standby.
Meeting minutes.
We really should be sitting on the other side.
Do we
How
have
can we-
a motion to?
Do you know that we can't,
Hey,
that's
wait,
not
wait.
focusing?
Wait. Can we switch it or?
Yeah.
Yes,
Thank
I can
you.
switch it. There we
Oh,
go.
yay.
It's a miracle. It's a miracle. I mean, I'm going to the eye doctor in the morning, but. You're all right, John.
You sent the rest of us in to see the eye doctor as
But
well.
that, no, here's the
That's
thing.
bad, I'm
Hang
trying to
on.
follow it for Zoom people and
I can
Oh,
still
is
make
it
this
on
bigger
purpose for them?
because it's
that, and it's like, yes.
download.
Okay.
Oh, this is the.
Yeah, that's,
That's why it's
Budget.
as
We're not
posted
doing the
in.
program first. This is gonna be.
This is gonna get-
Oh, okay. Budget was good.
The budget.
Budget is our thing today.
Was it there?
take the fourth one down.
It says November. On. You think I didn't know how to use a computer? Don't comment on that.
You're doing great, John.
You're the
It's
one that's
wonderful.
recording now, so.
That's true. Well, for some reason I can't download it, so
Can you
It's
just
fine,
open
it's
it?
big enough.
We can just do as written in
I
stone.
moved to
Yes.
accept the minutes as written in
It
the
is
stone.
December.
okay.
I think Bill had a.
Yeah.
Bill, did you have
I'm not gonna mention it.
Do you have a correction, Bill?
We had a good
Yeah.
time.
I think so, but
Accept it as written.
Is there a motion to accept
Hold
the
on,
minute?
hold on.
we got, should pay attention.
Correction.
What are we doing?
I have a question about one of the lines in the minutes.
Okay.
It says that OAS has worked with Dan and Danner of the Papillion List Vista Schools for 50 years.
We were asking about that. I was asking about
We
that.
have not worked with her for 50 years.
What is the correct number of years? I asked about that when I sent it.
25 or 30?
No, it's
No, it was
been,
that
it's late 90s, so it's probably close. 50.
Not 50 though.
30?
Take it back to 70.
No.
I thought
Maybe
she
it's
said,
30.
I thought she said 30.
I thought 30. 30 sounds
94
more
to
reasonable.
2024 would be 30.
Have to be accurate.
I would say 30. I met with a teacher who said
I
she'd
don't
gone
recall
to school there 30 years
When they
ago.
started, and that
And
was
she,
about 30
she
years
remembered the program from 6th grade.
Well, see,
So, and that was 4 or 5 years ago that I heard that from
So
a
it must have been 30 years.
teacher who had done the
The-
astronomy
how it got
program when
started
she was in
was
6th grade.
Rich Cologne, his wife, remember her? Yeah. That's who, and he was just doing it himself for a couple of years, but that technically wasn't OAS, and then he got hold of me or somebody, but yeah. I would say, maybe not even 30, late 90s. You know, we're picking over small details. I
Say
say,
almost
Remove-
30 then.
Move to amend the minutes. to reflect
Over
30.
25 years.
I'd say, just say
Less, but less than 30.
If we're
I
being
think
picky.
over
Maybe it is about
25
25
is,
years.
I forget I
brought it up.
We're all chatty tonight. I withdraw the motion. We're just a bunch of
So
chatty.
Diana,
she's already.
That, I mean, that's the way I read it when I looked at it.
I know.
And I should have looked at the
But we've been doing
preliminary
Papillion
minutes
for over
earlier.
50 years, right?
No,
Yeah, my email was asked about that.
Same time.
Outreach was not that popular.
25 back then. Over 25 would be a good, I got a problem with that, I just, 50 seems, yeah.
Excessive.
So we'll make a note that says correction, instead of for 50 years, it's been over 25 years.
Sounds like.
We wanna make a note about how long Ann has worked for PLV or?
No, I think, you know, Papillion La Vista has those records. This is just an astronomy thing for the OAS.
Okay.
Don't overwork it.
So a correction has been, or I'm sorry,
Amendment.
a motion to accept the minutes as amended. Tom,
I'll second that.
Joe, can you spell your last name, please?
SHAVLIK.
You. I did that for Diana's.
Yeah.
Motion has been made and seconded to accept the amended minutes. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Let's go back to our slides here, because there's some things on it I gotta show. Here's the treasurer's report for December. We took in 340 and 73 in membership dues. There was 158 for the library book program income for a total of 498.73. Expenditures, 180.92 for the library book program purchases. Oh, it's almost 1 for 1. 88.81 for outreach. That was for Ann Danner's award. And 232.51 was for the food, so we were 502.24. The account balance is 19,95929. A lot of nines.
I also have to still submit for the door prizes, so I will do that too
Okay, and
tonight
that was
to the treasurer.
into the next slide. This is for the whole year, right, Mike?
Yes.
Except for door prizes.
Except for the door
So
prize.
that would have been 23 door
For what
prizes,
I
not
know.
24.
Actually,
Um,
if you
Oh,
submit the door
okay.
prizes, it's this year's expenditure.
I guess 24, yeah,
Uh-huh,
sorry,
uh-huh,
you're right.
okay,
It won't
isn't that
change
what you
last
just
year's
said?
expenditures
No.
at all.
There was an outstanding question about Earth Day? Who paid for Earth Day?
What about
We
Earth
did
Day?
pay in,
Did we?
Wait.
For a booth?
it was canceled, right?
No, we did it.
No, we didn't. It started to snow right near the end. Yeah, it was like a sleet.
I was
I
there.
didn't pay anybody and unless somebody remembers they got paid somehow or paid for it.
They had a spot for us.
We were there.
Yeah, 100%, I was there.
Oh, I know why. It was the previous year that.
Yeah.
Yes,
So they
right?
just,
So they just credited us.
That's
Okay.
all.
oh,
That's
okay,
right.
I didn't,
There
That's
was-
good, that's a mystery solved.
There it is. That was it. Yeah, because what was it?
Way to go, Scooby.
Previous year.
COVID?
Chris, remember?
no, it was
Bad weather?
weather
It was
related.
weather, yeah,
Yeah, bad weather.
bad tornado or something.
Yeah, well, no, was that last year that they kind of said? Yeah, right, it was the year before, they said you gotta go hail, it was, yeah. Cause when I was gonna show up, they had kicked everybody out, they
That's
said you
right.
gotta go,
I remember that now, yeah.
So they
that was
credited
about
us,
halfway.
and so it was credited this year. That's why I didn't. That's why I did, yeah,
That takes care of that.
takes care of that.
Sweet.
So our income shows where we switched from PayPal to Stripe, and majority was Stripe this year. We only did about less than $20 for student dues. $749.37 in cash donations. The outreach program had $16.40 for donations.
Wow.
We took in $90 for the building rents down at 3 buildings. We had $791.90 for solar glasses. That's impressive.
Well, we didn't make any money on those, of course.
Well, no, but still, not bad.
Oh, no, that's
It's
what.
gotta be pretty close to breaking even though.
Well, I think so. We may have broken even.
I will, okay, my goal is to have it done before that Cosmos and cocktails, cause I think that'll be the next time that we'll have it to really use that. Whoever wants to take that
So
with
we
them.
know what you're doing on Valentine's Day.
You won't be here.
Being in Florida.
Getting married.
Yeah, packing.
Those expenses were for supplies of different things, but not, for the most part, it wasn't making copies, nothing like that.
Okay.
It's actually
Materials
stuff
for
to show and tell.
stuff.
Perfect.
I don't know, he's got the receipts.
Just curious.
Is everybody happy with this?
You bet.
Gee,
Looks
happy.
good.
Okay.
Motion to accept.
Well,
You need a
that-
motion?
Nah, it's already happened, there's no, we don't have to motion on it.
Okay. I'm just trying to keep it moving.
It's the one that we coming up to, we gotta, yeah, but.
It's the
Mike
next
is on
part
target.
that we have to deal with. Joe. You're gonna be vice president soon.
soon.
Yay!
I mean, you're voted in, right?
Yeah.
Yay!
I'm shooting for May 31st.
Okay.
I've been involved with the OPPD projects and they're hopefully be done and then will probably be an overhead period. So I might have some time, so I don't know, probably
that's fine.
springtime here.
It's cool.
So I'll just have to play by ear. The job's sucking it every little bit out
Oh,
of me.
I understand.
Yeah, we can't wait for that one to be done either.
Yes.
Hellroy.
Yeah. So old business, schedule stuff, I need to get to that. Storage for telescopes, there was some movement. We haven't had to really have a board meeting to go through much of that yet. We did have one, but we're gonna circle back around to it, so that should be this month. And Astro Park projects for 2025, we're gonna review that as well. We wanna try to do the railings this year. And finish the fence. Anybody put fence up before? You know how tough that is?
It's tough.
It's tough. Luckily, I got electric fence wire. We just need to wrap it and go and wrap it and go.
Are you gonna electrify it?
That is the discussion, yes, to electrify it.
You're electrifying it to keep the cows on one side? No.
The astronomer's on our side.
Keep us out of his field, yeah.
Now,
We don't want anyone wandering
for those-
away at night.
That's right.
For those who went to the fall picnic,
Oh, God. It's horrible.
they did honor where we put the fence posts.
Yeah.
So we know that it worked. But oh boy, was there dust over everything, everywhere. We got caked. The harvesters came through over the hill as we were having the picnic. And all the bean dust just coated everything, including all the optics that people had set up. They're rushing to put caps on and get it in their car, and the inside of my car looked like it had been marbled.
So
It
were they
was-
laughing when they were doing that?
No, they
Probably.
hesitated though and said there, this is what the window
We
looked like.
really wanna do this.
Looks like it's snow on there, and then
Yeah, they made their.
there's about an inch on the side when I use the wiper.
I forgot my window was down.
Oh, man.
Yeah, the three of them made like one loop and came up the fence line and then they did the rest of the top of the hill. They made their point and
Yeah, there was some bright headlights.
Yeah, they are, 15 at a time.
Yeah. Yeah, I need my glasses for this.
You're wearing your glasses.
They were already up.
These are my computer glasses. They reduce blue glare. Okay. So the income projection is dues of 4,200. Outreach about 1,000. Building lease, change that to 90. And miscellaneous, I don't remember why we had miscellaneous, but it seems kind of silly.
Well, wouldn't this,
What's the-
that would be like gifts and stuff like that,
Yeah.
right?
Awards.
And we far exceeded what you've got up there.
Income, right?
That's income.
Yeah.
Miscellaneous, that would be like for Amazon Smile and the other stuff that.
That's what it was. It used to be Amazon Smile before they
Yeah,
got rid of it.
yeah.
And then we changed, yeah,
So-
Cafe Press.
That could be
Press.
Cafe
Income.
Press. So we'll just say
Back to
75
what-
bucks.
Back to that other list,
You wanna list that as cafe
far
price?
exceeded
yeah,
this.
that was like
Instead
8,000.
of miscellaneous?
So this is very reasonable.
We don't have Misrule every year. Thank goodness.
Yeah, I should look to see how much that came from.
Your building lease, which buildings?
Well, yours.
I'm paying 50. It's going up, that's 55 is what it is. Yes.
Oh, by the way.
Dues is, all right, yes, I'm paying for the building is 30.
Yeah.
So we got 3 down there now?
Condry's leasing one. And Mark Smith has been leasing that other one for some
Okay, I
time.
only knew Mark.
$40 a year.
He was down there when you were
always
doing VP
That's
work.
what beer and yours, that's what it was when I was training.
That's why we're gonna increase.
Yeah,
That's
very
why we're
There's,
gonna-
they're leasing the one building that they refurbished,
Yeah.
6-foot pier that
was My in old one. George's
yard.
but they need to get the track fixed, cause the track is,
It's twisted?
it twisted.
Oh.
It's not a single beam all the way
No,
across.
it's pieces. George
Yeah.
put them together.
Yeah.
But it worked when I got rid of it. That's all I can see.
They replaced it.
Uh,
They put a whole new beam section in. Cause the other wood had gone too far.
It was gone.
Note, Astro Park building leases will go up in 2026. Board to discuss and present new rates. Just putting that out there. That's there, so as
Well, it should never
people
been
go
changed since
forward, they can be aware of that.
It's never been changed.
They paid 90 cents.
Unbelievable.
Okay, our expense budget. Yes,
Were we also talking about potentially upping membership dues in the next 5 years too, or?
yeah,
Yes.
Okay. I don't know if we need to make a heads up announcement yet there too.
not yet.
In 5 years.
I know it's still a couple years out.
Part of that planning is also redoing the fee structure for the online because the cost when we actually pay $25, is this actually like 23 and something? So I wanna be able to have an option like click a check box and it's pay for the transaction cost or whatever and see how that goes.
Okay.
But I have to construct each button separately, so it's like me doing the same thing 3 times. Okay, expense. Lighthouse 150, mowing 450, maybe it'll go up, maybe it won't, if not, it'll be fine. We always have this entry here for rock for the road if we ever need it. Or for tree trimming. Traditionally, we've not used it, we kind of used part of it last year, but we did a special motion for that. The fence and the railing, I put at 1,000 because we may be having to we'll be buying like the pressure treated wood for the railing for some of the pads. I don't know how much it would actually cost, but I know wood costs went up.
It's gonna go up again.
Those estimates are small.
Is it?
I would think so.
Trees down, make our own logs.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, we can approve separately. It's not like we're not making the Taj Mahal type
No, we ought to actually
railing.
you ought to actually have a estimate based on what the costs are.
Oh, okay. We can work on that.
So you said the wood at the pads and then you said a fence railing. Railings around the pads.
It's on one side of there's one side of the pad that is much higher than the other pads.
it's like
So like
the
if you take a
concrete
step
drops
off,
and
Yeah.
if you're in the dark and not, you know,
It's
Okay, so
dangerous.
we're putting a fence there now.
So put a
just
rail on
just
that.
a railing.
deck rail on the edge of a couple of the pads.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we use it
Go.
as seats too.
So
Please put your.
my question is Astro Park owned by OAS
Yes.
land?
The land is owned by OAS.
Okay,
Yes.
do we have to pay taxes?
No.
No.
No, we're nonprofit.
Nonprofit.
Okay.
We have to file a report.
Gotta file a report.
Okay.
They tried to charge us
They
taxes
tried.
once,
Recently, right?
recently. It was a little bit shocking. But it was like, no, we're a nonprofit, and then it was taken care of.
And there's what, 1 acre there?
About four.
Or something.
'Cause it includes a
A
gully.
bunch of the treed area is ours too.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
gully.
What was do you remember what the amount was, Mike?
I don't know, it was 2,000 or something like that. It was
Yeah.
quite a bit of money.
Yeah, it was a lot. Then there's the Star Party stuff. We kind of used some of that. We didn't go that high, but I could drop that if you want, like 300.
Canceled one of them, didn't we?
I would stay conservative. I mean, there's no reason to drop it so that we
Yeah,
go
leave
over if that ever happens.
And if we don't use it,
Budget's
great.
almost
Yeah.
always.
Or we
Yeah.
can have more than one Star Party.
Yeah, you're supposed to budget high.
We're not gonna go
conservative.
broke.
No.
So I did update the league dues to 1,100 because it's roughly around the same amount. Awards, is it roughly 75?
I mean, it's usually less, but
We haven't
Yeah,
turned in any
actually-
frames, have we?
we haven't been. But actually, the frames have gotten more expensive.
$100, put $100.
What is it, like
We can make
15
it
bucks a
fancy.
frame?
We're
Sure,
gonna,
we can eat it,
everybody's
yeah.
gonna hammer away at
It's 50.
observing awards
So
next
we
year.
could-
Fingernail polish on the corners.
I don't know, we can make it
Nothing to say about
100,
it.
I guess, but I don't think,
We have a
we're
lot
not
of
gonna
awards
hit that.
next year, so we need to-
75.
What, are you averaging like 10 awards a year?
I don't even know if that,
So a frame is how much? 10 bucks,
15?
15?
10, 15, yeah.
Well, if the Sheldon family keeps knocking them out,
Yeah,
three frames.
go
We
guys.
had at least 10, I think, last year.
And our upcoming
Yeah.
I got a couple of
programs, I'm like,
So
we're
let's
gonna
see,
push
hang on,
them.
calculator.
Oh, yeah. I'll say 100.
Calculator. What if it's 15 times 10, would be 100.
Scholarship, this has not changed. What'd you say, Kelly, sorry?
Did we use it last
15
year?
No, we didn't
dollars
use
per
it
frame
last year.
times
Didn't
10
think
frames would be
so.
150.
Or the year before?
We've been invited, I haven't.
And that's
brought that
just
up
for
to this-
frames.
Not until March, but we've been
Do you have
invited
any other
to
expenses beyond the frames?
be there again this year at the science fairs.
Oh, you can go.
Education scholarship, it's there every year. We get invited to the metro area science fair. And if there is a display around astronomy,
Close.
Even close.
even close to astronomy,
Science.
say light pollution, of course that's astronomy.
What we've had in the past couple years, there's been some that would be close, but they're in the junior division, so they're like middle school kids.
Pretty basic.
Yeah.
So we
primarily
have
like high school.
not
You gotta put
given out the award for the last
Oh,
couple
yeah,
years.
we kind of messed up last year. I know you called me or emailed me.
I
and-
sent, yeah, I sent you and the two of you guys some things that I saw that could potentially work. But again, that's junior division, they were
Well,
fifth through
I mean,
eighth grade.
Can I throw out an idea?
throw out an idea.
Since we don't want to necessarily give them a scholarship at that level, what about a education award for that level, which would have I don't know what the award would be, a trophy, a gift, a plaque, a something.
We can determine
Remember,
whatever we
$50
want.
We can do whatever, yeah.
Yeah, we can do
Membership.
whatever we want.
We usually,
Take a
I'm
We've
a
done,
membership.
gave them a membership for the
Done
younger.
that.
But I mean, should we put a line item that way we
Before that, we were, yeah, besides,
just call it education award?
Comes.
we also thought right before COVID that we would have them present to our meeting as a program,
Yeah.
give them experience of
we've done that in
presenting.
the past, yeah.
Well, we need a separate line for it.
Cash is
Yeah,
It's just an
but then COVID
education
hit
award,
before we
right?
really
Or
got into it.
scholarships, all kind of the
It's
same.
both.
But yeah, when I go and judge, I can usually pull out something that's astronomy, alignment,
Atmospheric.
yeah, usually not necessarily light pollution, it might be spectral, I think it
Where-
was something with
where do they do
spectrum
this?
last year.
What?
Where's it held?
It's, okay,
the zoo,
in my,
Okay.
because we haven't done it
Large
for,
award and junior award.
but they hold it at the zoo.
Mhm.
It's like the first Friday or second Friday of March, I
It
think.
has changed, it was
I thought it was
Saturdays for a while, then it was during the week, it's been Fridays, it's been Tuesdays, it's been
Yeah, that's the
Wednesdays.
trouble, it's
Where
hard.
do they do it at the zoo?
Because of the
The
space,
space there,
they're all over the
Just
zoo.
throughout, just set up
They take up the
Building with
the old
classrooms and stuff.
pavilion
in
building,
the
like
back,
the
yeah.
whole convention area is usually
They have
cleaned
the
out.
elephant Yeah, it's exhibit. right
They've
in front
done
of
the
us.
party
Right
rooms,
inside.
it's a lot of
Big
different
building
places.
up
Oh,
around.
by those.
But the
bird
part of doing it
animals
at the zoo is
Well,
the
yeah,
kids
well,
also
by
get an
the
opportunity
stakeout,
to
Omaha
experience the
Steakhouse
zoo
Park.
while they're there.
To the left.
Cause not all schools will bus everybody. So one of it was they wanted it during the week so that the schools can bring the kids there, cause parents don't necessarily do that.
Sure.
Not all schools will bring buses, sometimes parents have to bring the kids. It all depends on the school as far as who comes, when they come, or how they come. But having it at the zoo allows them during judging times and stuff that they can experience the zoo.
And is that like, it's an opportunity to like have some, like a table with the solar scope set up and?
They're mostly inside with their presentation.
Yeah, they're pretty booked out until like noon. And then if they're there with the school group, they have to bus them back to school before the end of the day.
it's pretty structured, yeah.
Yeah.
There's probably not much time to do anything else.
I mean,
Mike,
they've
Mike,
got a
I'll send
little
you the.
social time to hang
notice I
out,
got.
but not if the school is providing the transportation and stuff, they don't really get much time.
Well, most teachers keep pretty good track of the kids they've got, so I'm surprised if they're turning them loose in the zoo.
Yeah, they're not turning
They're
them.
not,
The zoo needs
But
more
it's
display.
at the zoo, so they got something to do, they're
Feed them
30
animals.
minutes
I mean,
out.
I've taken
Was it
kids
really-
places and
Was it really
you
talking
don't
about
turn
the
them
kids?
loose.
And it all depends on the zoo, like the senior division which is the high schoolers, tend to be a lot of zoo-related research. The zoos, I mean, it is, I had to ask, why are we looking at manure for zebras instead of horses and cows? I mean, I don't own too many zebras.
4-H to high school, the difference.
Yeah, so it's a little, it's a lot of, the senior division is a lot of working with the zoo researchers.
Yeah.
So we don't find the astronomy type projects.
Well, we could send an animal to.
I'll see.
In the zoo, it's more important to look down than it is to look up.
Yeah, so we see a lot of more astronomy, light stuff in the junior division.
But if you are available and would like to help,
Yeah,
Being
I'll
a
get
judge.
the information out.
And you don't necessarily,
But it's
we are
Friday.
considered, OAS is a special award.
yes.
So
Yeah,
you would be a special award judge, it doesn't take you much time to do that. I usually go in as a judge for whatever they need with focusing on physics and astronomy, and I usually end up with environmental or something in, 2 or 3 different categories that they need.
Holiday door prizes, 200, does that seem about right?
I went with the 300 and I'm emailing you, I think I'd spent $330 this year.
So that makes $660, by the way, if you do the same thing next year. It'll all be the same year.
Oh, yeah.
I'll
Oh,
turn the bill in this year.
oh,
Yeah, we have to add current year costs into the forecast here.
Well, this year's will be next year's, so.
but we're paying her out of the budget for this year because it didn't get turned in.
Yeah, sorry.
No problem.
So you don't normally
turned
pay
in
the
before.
No.
Okay, I understand.
It's early December.
Try to do
We have a
better about
very
bugging people to
Very
turn in their
straightforward
receipts.
accounting system.
Within 30 days. I'm within 90 days, just not 30.
Holiday party refreshments. That's high because we were doing the whole thing. This year it was only like 285, something like that. It wasn't as much.
We didn't pay for a venue.
No.
And it
So
was all
your 630 that
non-alcoholic.
you just put, did
You
you
put it
just
in
put
the
it on
wrong-
the wrong line?
Then you put it in the wrong row there.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's why your holiday refreshments are
that's
so
why that was,
expensive.
yeah,
Hang on, let me
Undo
look at the
one.
receipt.
there you go.
well, we could go back to the
Yeah.
expenses.
232.
232, okay. We'll say 250. We raised that up because we were doing more for those few years there. Dark Sky International membership, $100. You wanna up it?
That's a minimum, right? That's, I mean, it's considered a donation.
What's the
next one up?
Probably 250.
We've got the money.
I would really like to move this up to the next level of 250. That
Sure.
sounds good. I have my reasons, mostly because our region has decided not to do it.
Oh, you're
really?
kidding.
Yes.
Do we
Well, you
need,
got from Israel,
we don't need to vote on the individual things, it's just the,
No.
okay,
We'll accept the-
just checking.
We'll do it at the end.
Okay.
Insurance, I know it's 309, I've always kept it at 330, just in case.
Yeah.
Phyllis,
It might
library
go up
telescope,
next year. All insurance has been going up.
yeah, we've been lucky.
Mm-hmm.
Library telescope program support, is that fine?
that should be fine.
That's
Office
sufficient.
supplies, Mike?
Well, you can leave that 80, I guess.
Well, we've got a separate line items for postage.
I don't know what the 80 is for, actually.
You
Yeah,
spent
we're gonna put
80
a
on
bill for any
stamp,
paper I
you
use.
spent like 85 on
Paper
stamps and
envelopes.
envelopes.
Starbucks
I've
on
got-
the way to and from the post office.
Oh, okay.
Avocado toast.
So the post office box did go up another $20 this year.
Yeah,
It'll go
probably
up
this year
again.
too.
Yeah,
How often does it go up?
it's usually every other year.
You're right, forever stews.
What happens when they privatize it?
Yeah, we have no idea what's.
Oh, that'll be.
Professional, presidential and discretionary expense,
Yes, leave that there.
program
That saved us a couple of
expense,
times.
refreshments.
We
Still,
need to,
We need to get some
we
refreshments.
need to add
Is that
the
gonna pay
cost
for
of
our
the,
Keurig?
of the Keurig machine to that.
hang on, hang
Pay
on.
for the
Well,
machine.
I don't think we spent that last year for refreshments.
But if we
Well, if
buy
we
a
buy the-
machine.
But if we buy a machine, that's
We'll
gonna
need that.
cover, yeah,
machine
that's
will
gonna
be
take out that.
With
140
supplies,
bucks.
right, coffee pot with
I
supplies?
think we get a lot of refreshments that are just
Hey,
donated.
there you go,
Yeah,
new
yeah.
coffee, refreshments and new coffee pot, we got it.
So we can add that on.
Having
And
some
people
budget.
just bring
Oh,
stuff.
hang on a minute,
We need to get a new Carol.
hang on a minute.
What?
A motion has been made, is there a second?
For what?
Tom Wilson, for the coffee pot,
Sure.
you made the motion.
Do we need-
I made the motion.
You're
a little slow there,
Do we
Earl.
need to make a motion?
How much did you find the coffee pot for?
One.
So I got-
Okay, so for, to
On the
keep our
Keurig
secretary
website.
happy, a motion has been made
Yeah, the
to
same one that you were
procure a
talking about.
Keurig and the needed supplies to operate said Keurig, which would be the cups and regular drinking cups, by Nina Baker, seconded by Tom Wilson. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? What'd you say? You were the second, what do you?
No, I
You said I know how
cranky people get.
Thank you.
I don't drink coffee.
So if you're gonna get supplies, you need to raise that probably $50 more.
Well,
It's
hold
140.
hold
Look,
on.
look, it's right
We've
here.
already got it above.
Oh, okay.
And or we could dig into the program expenses if it's gonna be a combo.
Yeah, presidential
refreshment
discretionary.
program.
That's discretionary. Stella website domains and emails.
What was
Oh,
that?
yeah?
That was not me.
Somebody was
I don't know
commenting.
who else is
Someone
on.
Hello.
Fixed.
Website domain and emails and stuff, it's not necessarily that high, but it could be that high,
Thanks, Mike.
so it's actually a bargain, we're doing pretty good. Our webmaster may be kind of taking some of that burden on, which I'm trying not to get him to do. Telescope loan program repairs, does that seem about right? We've had 700 for,
Yeah, this is a good number. We go with a storage unit. I would, say 700.
What was it a
Per
month?
month.
I would
There's the
put that
insurance on that.
2,500 to include a rental of a space, so that would be a worst case number.
okay,
125 a month for 12 months.
Yeah,
That includes insurance?
probably not.
No.
No, not
Like a
really.
separate entry for.
Insurance is a monthly charge on top of that based on the value, if you go through what the rental facilities have. I also raised the question with our homeowner insurance coverage and introducing them to insuring a 501(c) organization that's not a business or a house seems to have confused them badly.
That sounds like insurance.
Last I talked with them right before Christmas was that they were gonna push it up to a different office and they'll get back to you. And they haven't so far, so.
Who's your insurance company?
You wanna do what?
Is that your own personal insurance company?
I'm sorry,
Is that your own personal insurance company?
yes,
Yeah.
hold on.
We've got
They do homes and
insurance,
businesses very well, small organizations and
we have insurance.
we have insurance, we could maybe add a rider onto our own insurance
Our
That's
for a
what we
lot
general
less than
liability
they're
wouldn't
gonna
cover
gouge
that.
you at at
The
Dino's.
storage
But you
place.
can add it, so like at the Beach Club,
Yeah.
we've been actually, we had to use it because we were robbed. So, but we insure $15,000 worth of stuff and they're willing to give us a bid for it and we pay for it. So your insurance company should be doing it.
Yeah. So I'd
It'd be a
increase
lot
the
cheaper
insurance
to
up
add
from
something to our
330 up to
existing
maybe
policy.
450 or something like
When
that.
we initially had to increase the insurance for
Property
UNO,
damage.
because we had to up our liability coverage, I think it went up by like $30. It was not a great amount. I was shocked when I saw that, so,
You wanna reach out and whoever
In-
deals with them?
Increase the insurance to
Increase
four
the
hundred,
insurance to 400
Okay.
and call it art.
and if it's more than that, we'll deal with it. And know better next year.
It might be a separate line.
I mean, this is, all of these numbers are guesstimates.
Yes.
We don't even have a rented facility yet.
No.
Yeah,
Alright.
But that, when we priced them out, that was kind of roughly the cost.
Since
You
we
do
don't
repairs on-
have this place yet,
I know,
should we put a separate item as
that's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
garage rental or?
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
he's
That's
doing.
what he's doing. So
It's
so
at the
re-
bottom, so you
one's
can't see it.
repairs, one's storage.
What can you get by with on repairs? 300? Can you do 300 for repairs?
Yeah, that sounds reasonable. I haven't really done a great deal last year with anything, so that would be a.
You can always vote more if something comes up.
I'd say 1,500 for the storage.
Well, it was, say 100, yeah, was it 125 times 12?
Would you say 125 a month?
About 1,600 roughly.
It's 1,400, 1,444.
There you go.
144, so about 15,
15, yeah,
1,600.
1,500.
That's a good working number to start with.
We can't afford a new coffee
We can donate one to the OAS.
Coffee pot for the storage
That's the
facility?
problem, every time we suggest
Refrigerator, too,
purchasing
you gotta be
something,
clear about it.
everybody's like, I got it, that's how we got our bookcase thing is, oh, I got one of those, we don't need to buy one. We don't need to buy a Keurig, oh, I got one of those, we'll just bring it in.
Check out Goodwill.
It does, it works great.
I didn't see any today.
Didn't see it?
We don't need to buy it.
When you're retired, you can stuff.
I got some of that. I got some of that in my hip pocket.
So John, can I recommend a wedge?
I like the one on Center Street.
A what?
A wedge?
A
A
wedge?
project, an
60
expense.
degree or?
Okay,
So, let me preface, so shut me down if it's inappropriate.
Mainly, I go to.
Last month, you told me to have a discussion on Discord, but with my shoulder surgery and family Christmas, I did not do that. So, what I am recommending, based on some discussion with you and a couple of other people, Austin and some other people, is that we, install modernized piers at Astro Park. And the wedge that I would ask for is, I'll throw a number out to start with, $1,500 to install, for the cost to install a wedge based on future discussion, so we can do it this year. So I will get with Austin. So I prefer a concrete wedge, but I have not built mine yet. Austin prefers a steel tube wedge, not wedge, sorry, pier, right? And the idea is that a single pier would have a plate on it usable by a particular mount.
No,
If,
multi-drill it.
no, I got it. If, everything works with the first pier, based on the mounts, or the mounts that people have, appropriate other piers could be built, so that there's an EQ6 one and a AVX one or whatever, and based on what people have and desire, if there's more EQ6 need, we would swap out. You would not swap out every time you go to Astro Park, you wouldn't take the mount apart and put a new plate on, because there's a lot of alignment stuff that you would have to do. You want that mount set. But if over the course of time, more people drift toward a particular type of mount, then you would just replace the plate. So the idea here is not to start with, hey, let's go put 6 in and not know what we're doing, but to install one, make sure it works and everybody's in agreement, go through the process of whether it's gonna be a concrete pier or steel pier or whatever. And then get that one installed and tested and see where things are going. And then next year expand to additional piers as the club desires.
We have 2 now.
The two don't have the I don't believe.
We just need to have plates made, you know.
Yeah.
If only we knew somebody who had like a milling machine or.
Don't need a milling machine.
And who would that be?
Somebody can drill.
The mics have everything.
So
Yeah, apparently.
the cost that I am proposing, the 1,500 would purchase everything if we have somebody who can do it. I mean, there's still the cost to get the aluminum billets and that type of stuff. So it may be a little bit cheaper to have a club member do them if he's got the time and the will to do it. But the wedge is asking for the purchase price, and of course, the club would save money if a club member was able to do it for us. So that's the $1,500 wedge, that is to put one experimental, modern pier, modern plates, interchangeable, et cetera, and then expand that. And potentially, there's a chance to upgrade, but I have no clue about upgrading the ones that currently exist, so that could be pursued also.
We did have discussions on upgrading the one that does not currently have a plate on top. That takes an RG6, or RV6.
210s for Roxy.
Uh,
It's an electrical.
Louis has that scope,
That's the mount.
because it goes inside the cylinder and it has 3 screws
Or
on
does
the
it go
side.
And you got the weight.
Well, RV6 mounts
Yeah,
I
I
have
think it's
laying
an
in my
RV6.
garage go over the
Yeah,
Money for it?
so
They're trying to get money for it, or you're just trying to get rid of it?
you could put a plug in it that would be same compatible with that post and then have the other part built on top of it for the wedge.
You talk about new platform or new pads, because the big pad down there has a center cut out.
You should repair that too. We could hammer that out and put a.
That'd be what you have to do.
Just put 'em back.
And just
Because it's
concrete.
separated. And the buildings all have them in the middle.
Yeah, that one that has that,
Which pad are you talking about?
there's the one pad that's got like the square where the pier
The
used to
big
be.
pad.
The lower one,
Yeah,
closest to the tree line?
No, the one, big one up at the top that everybody likes to get onto has a center square. The double-sided one, the bottom part had a center square, but the top I don't think did.
the one at the bottom, it has
Isolated.
like, the middle square isn't flat though, it like recesses in.
Yeah,
Okay.
So we should probably just
So-
take a bag of
so
cement out
walking on the
there.
concrete
So
doesn't
yes,
bother the.
there's research to do, and I'm not asking to spend the money at this point. I'm asking to put a wedge in so that we can look at stuff like this. I don't know what was built with the piers. There's a lot of science behind piers now about putting a 4x4 cubic.
It's essentially a bell shape underground.
So, but again, does anybody really know what's underground there? So,
It's a quarry, there's rock.
no, I
You
mean,
can't
as
go
far
too
as
deep.
dynamite, you go as deep as you want. That's how they build pools in Texas, so. Anyway, so that's what the request is. Again, it's not to execute, it's to have the money so that when we come back and present and get,
Well, that would be part of that
We want a
$1,000.
line item put in.
That's part of that $1,000 Astro Park upgrade, but.
it's more than, so Astro Park has got other upgrades. This is specifically, most likely, if we go execute, we are going to spend somewhere between $1,000 and $1,500 would be my guess. Unless the piers that are out there and we're adapting a pier, but the end result that I'm proposing, and again, which I'm not proposing now, would be something that systematically you could change the head on. So, having an existing pier that's got a special piece that needs a special adapter and a bunch of nuts and bolts to make it an EQ6. The modern, so for example, Dan's pier plates.
Yep, I know.
You got the standard bottom plate and you just change the top plates and you can go to 12 different mounts and you just have the different top plates. So if people are, again, more people want to use EQ6 or the mount you were just discussing, I'm not even familiar with that particular mount, but that's.
I just have like a Celestron one.
Correct. I mean, I'm just saying, so.
AM5s or
So-
whatever, yeah.
Anyway, that's my recommendation, is a wedge for $1,500 to investigate / install modernized piers, a modernized pier.
Okay, Krista?
Love the idea, sounds like it's still in an exploration, so I don't know if we need to necessarily make a line item for that. we have, I don't know how many thousands of dollars sitting in our account
20.
that,
20.
yeah, so when that
That
exploration
comes
time
up.
comes up, why don't we have a
Make a motion.
request for funds then and use some of that $20,000 instead of needing to make a line item, which is kind of our annual
Yeah.
regular spending money.
No, that's fine too, if that's the proper way to do it.
Yes.
That's fine.
So,
Doing it that way.
so I think
I
that's
thought I
kinda.
needed to put it in the January budget, that's why I brought it up.
No, this is the budget for the whole year, so this is just general, everyday, every year occurrences that we know we're gonna spend. So that project sounds great, it could be used with our updates at, out at Astro Park. You take it from there, or it could be an individual, hey, let's use some of our funds for this project.
I just wanted to get in at the beginning of the year in case I had to be in it.
Yeah,
If not, I could ask for the money later,
but
that's
with
fine.
15 to 20,000, I think we can cover it anytime that need comes up. Unless our storage burns down and we
Yeah,
lose
they
all our
wanna
telescopes.
investigate in our office.
I think we're okay.
Put a budget together.
Yeah, without insurance.
Okay, and per John's recommendation, and now that my shoulder is fixed and Christmas is gone, I will start a discussion on Discord. So if you
You asked.
have opinions or abilities to
Big hole. Stick that
create
in there.
something similar to an interchangeable plate, please join if you agree or disagree. I mean, if everybody disagrees from the beginning, then I don't wanna go through the, I don't wanna go through the work if,
Yeah.
but again,
It's probably nothing I would use, but I am not gonna disagree with that, because I know people who need it.
so, correct. So I'll actually start something on Discord, which I should have started last month. So,
Okay, yeah, we'll add it
Cool.
when we start.
thank you.
Then it'd be
You can have your, you can
5
you
years.
can have your.
I think that was,
Never mind.
I yield my time.
It's not a never mind.
No,
It's an
no,
opportunity
that's
to-
how, that's how we talk about
Right.
stuff, so.
To research or start a capital improvement donation fund to do things like that. I know we have money, but not everybody may have telescopes that would fit on there. So there might be some folks who might be more inclined to like use that might be willing to put something
And
into
yet if
that.
that was there and the club paid for it, then I have a right to look through your scope if you're using it.
There you go.
yeah, you won't be there.
So
It's not
that's a
for
good point.
visual.
We will make a list of rules and like who gets the
Who gets
tier.
to look and who
Well, who
doesn't?
gets the tier, you know, is it first come, first
Whoa,
served?
whoa,
I don't-
our
I'm not
silver
even-
person gets the
I'm
first
not
one
even
line.
going into that. I don't wanna,
Rental cost on peer usage.
maybe I'm using it to hold my coffee cup.
You can't take my coffee cup holder.
Right now,
Zip it down.
right now, we are sitting at 95. And just like last year, we don't always use everything that's in the budget.
Right.
That's right.
Sometimes it just works out where we didn't need to do it. But lighthouse and mowing, that stuff's certainly gonna happen. Astronomy day is gonna happen, the dues are gonna happen.
Yep.
These are gonna happen.
Refreshments, postage, PO box, stuff like that's gonna happen, so.
Motion to accept
Second.
as presented.
Okay, hang on.
You gotta see it.
Those beers aren't gonna drink themselves.
Bill Bond has made a motion to accept the budget as presented. Who was the second?
Sam, these two.
Sam, would you say your last name for Diana?
Yeah, it's all SOWL,
Again.
SOWL.
SOWL.
Oh, like the sun.
Soul, but not like that.
No, soul is in the sun.
With W.
What is it?
Yeah,
like-
Sorry, I didn't hear the W.
Like foul with an S. Like the first sound.
it's like bull.
It's like bull with an S.
Etymology class.
The motion has been made and seconded to accept the budget as presented. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Comment?
Beautiful.
Yay.
That was an excellent budget.
10 o'clock.
Nicely done, everyone.
I-
That's a record budget.
I Thank you. I'm gonna end the business meeting in a moment. But,
Hold your horses, jeez.
I might have a video to share.
Ooh, yay.
So give me a moment to look for it.
Did you save that worksheet? Just out of curiosity.
Did you save
If
it?
it was on Google, it'll
Oh,
obviously.
it'll be okay.
It's so hard to get used to that.
He never
Where's
closes,
the
Auto
save button?
save.
he never closes his tabs anyways.
Yeah, I know, they're open.
Yay.
Save it to a car.
Auto save.
Like auto parts. Everything he does. Oh, TT, oh, auto.
That's cool. You've not seen In a Nutshell?
It's the birds.
These look like fun.
Oh, they're pretty good. Alright, let me find
In a nutshell, okay.
In a nutshell.
Kyrgyzstan in a nutshell.
Well, if you're allergic to
You're not
nuts.
gonna be able to find it if you can't spell it. Kyrgyzstan.
That's why I just searched for In a Nutshell. Okay, I need to find my other Zoom control here to, oh, it's all the way up here. Alright, so share that, share.
It's sharing.
It's sharing.
Sound.
Okay. You heard the sound? Okay.
Pulling their head out.
My dad just took his teeth and.
What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna end the business meeting.
So
Bill,
moved.
second. Tom? Guys,
Old pros at this.
Yeah.
No, it's just because that's the way I got proof I was around. It's in the books.
motion has been made by Bill and seconded by Tom Wilson to adjourn the business meeting.
We just need to.
Favor, say aye.
Standard.
Opposed? Okay, so Kyrgyzstan, or In a Nutshell, is a lot of these science-related videos. And they do a really pretty good job of their presentation style. It's very European, but they are kind of enjoyable here.
We are answering an age-old, very scientific and important question. What if the moon crashes into Earth? It's more interesting and weird than you probably think. Let's start with the basics. Why isn't the moon on its way to crash into us already? We know that Earth's gravity pulls everything towards it, including the moon, but somehow it stays up, as if suspended by some opposite force. But there is no other force countering gravity. Instead, the trick to staying up is a sideways motion that we call an orbit. You see orbits every day. When you throw a ball, it makes a tiny little orbit. The only difference between the ball's orbit and the moon's is that the ball eventually hits the ground. Basically, the reason is speed. If you could throw your ball fast enough, it would bend around the world and come back to you. If there were no air slowing it down, it could orbit forever. And this is what the moon does, falling sideways around Earth very fast with no air slowing it down, orbiting Earth every 27 days at 3,600 kilometers an hour. So, for the moon to just stop in its orbit and plummet to the Earth would break more laws of physics than we have time to explain. So, how do we crash it into Earth? In a nutshell, to change an object's orbit, you need to change its speed, which changes where gravity takes it. But even small changes require enormous forces, which is why all the large objects in the solar system are so stable nowadays. According to science, the moon is big and very massive. Even igniting billions of rocket engines all over its surface would barely move the moon. It looks like nothing short of magic will make the moon fall, so we'll use a magic spell that slows down the moon so much that it changes its orbit and spirals towards Earth. To get the most from the experience, the moon will take exactly 1 year before it hits Earth. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Magic. Month 1. For the first few days, nothing really changes. The moon gets a tiny bit brighter and scientists get confused, but the rest of us don't notice anything different. The only noticeable real effect of the moon on the Earth are the tides. Tides exist because while Earth pulls on the moon's gravity pulls back on the Earth. Since the strength of gravity gets weaker with distance, different parts of the Earth feel a slightly different pull, which causes the Earth, especially the oceans, to bulge when the moon is above them and contract a little on the sides when it's not. As Earth rotates every day underneath the moon's influence fluctuates, causing the water level of the oceans to rise and fall by about half a meter twice a day. But with the moon drawing ever closer, high tide gets higher every day. At first barely noticeable, within a month the moon has covered half the distance to the Earth and ocean tides have grown to 4 meters. Every day high tide comes and waves flood coastal cities. And there's no end in sight. With the moon drawing ever closer, tides rise ever higher, inundating another city and more inhabited land with salty water every day. Month 2. By the end of month 2, the moon has covered 2/3 of the distance to Earth and global infrastructure is crumbling as tides rise above 10 meters, displacing up to 1 billion people who happen to live near the coastlines. As ports become inoperable, shipping grinds to a halt. Not only will it slow down the delivery of Kurzgesagt products, but also less exciting things like food. Global communications fall into disarray. 95% of the internet is carried by ocean crossing cables, and while these largely don't mind the water, their terminals on land do. Living inland doesn't guarantee safety either. Tidal bores cause rivers to flow backwards, carrying salt water to contaminate surface and groundwater supplies. Gas shortages follow as all refineries near the coast are abandoned. Countries are left with the supplies they had on their shelves, and strict rationing will begin. In the cities, chaos reigns during the scavenging hours of low tide, while survivors take refuge in high-rises when the water returns. Month 3. 3 months in and the moon is close enough to disrupt communication and navigation satellites. While it's normally far too distant for its gravity to cause any major problems for our satellites, the closer it gets, the more warped their orbits become. As their fuel for orbital corrections runs out, satellites careen out of control. Months 4 and 5. On Earth, the tides are rapidly growing to about 30 meters and will be reaching 100 meters in height in a few short weeks. At low tide, the ocean recedes hundreds of kilometers, exposing the continental shelf like vast deserts, while at high tide, walls of water drown agriculture, houses, and skyscrapers. And now, almost 5 months in, the apocalypse has finished its warm-up act. Since the oceans are on average only 3 kilometers deep, the tides have reached their maximum. Up until now, the water in the oceans could flow, absorbing most of the moon's gravitational squeezing, but now the Earth itself is really feeling the squeeze of the ever-approaching moon. These aren't so much tides of water, but tides of rock. The squeezing of the planet, combined with the weight of quintillions of tons of water sloshing on and off the tectonic plates, creates enormous stresses below and begins to cause earthquakes of increasing magnitude and intensity. It's impossible to say how serious these earthquakes might be or where they occur, but like a child jumping on their bed until it breaks, no good can come of it. Strong tidal forces lead to volcanism on other planets and moons. On Earth, squeezing the planet disrupts the magma reservoirs inside the crust, triggering sizable, climate-altering eruptions in Chile, New Zealand, Yellowstone, and elsewhere. Meanwhile, watching patiently above is the moon. Still no bigger in the sky than a small cloud. Within 75,000 kilometers of Earth, it is bright enough to illuminate the night sky like twilight. Months 6 and 7. After half a year, the moon is entering the space once occupied by geosynchronous satellites where it orbits Earth every 24 hours. It appears to float at one spot in the sky, unmoving, cycling through a full set of phases every day, but only visible to half the planet. With the moon stationary above the Earth, the tides seem to freeze in place. Half the world flooded, half with its water seemingly returned to the sea, as if Earth is holding its breath to prepare for the worst. As the moon sinks further, you might wonder if its gravity would overpower Earth's, pulling you up and ending your misery. Fortunately not. The Earth's surface gravity is about 6 times stronger than the moon's, so even if the moon were hovering right on top of you, you would still stay on the ground. On the moon, things are different though. The near side of the moon is more strongly affected by Earth's gravity, so during the next few months, it starts to stretch forward towards the Earth into something of an egg, triggering deep moonquakes as the lunar rock flexes and changes shape. Though barely noticeable now, this squish will grow to hundreds of kilometers in a matter of months. Months 8 to 11. At this point, the apocalypse has arrived, and we can summarize the months before the crash as everybody left has a really bad time. The tides sweeping over the Earth slow down and then reverse their direction because the moon now orbits Earth faster than it rotates. The planet will experience an abundance of earthquakes and volcanism. Massive amounts of volcanic aerosols rise high into the stratosphere, shiny enough to reflect sunlight back into space. What little light gets through is rust red and is periodically diminished by daily eclipses. The result is a rapid global cooling with acid rains and summer snows killing even the hardiest plants. The clock runs out on civilization. Billions have perished while an X-shaped moon is still drawing closer. Let's get ready for the grand finale. Month 12. Finally, at the end of the year, the moon has reached the Roche limit. That's the point where Earth's gravitational pull on the moon is stronger than the moon's own gravity. Things on the lunar surface start falling towards Earth, and by the time it crosses 10,000 kilometers, the entire moon disintegrates into rubble, smearing itself into a massive ring system around the Earth. Fortunately, the moon's disintegration means the misery on Earth has ended. No moon means the general apocalyptic nature of things comes to a halt. The oceans recede, flowing off the land one last time. Any survivors are treated to a view of tremendous arches spanning the sky, glimmering in the sunlight, illuminating the night sky more brilliantly than any full moon ever could, while meteor showers of moon dust fill the sky. It's hard to say what happens next, but the tranquility may be short-lived. If too much moon dust rains down, friction heats the atmosphere, possibly boiling the oceans. If not, the enormous shadows cast by the rings, combined with all the volcanic and meteoric aerosols, block even more sunlight, and a period of runaway cooling could begin that freezes much of Earth's surface solid. In any case, at some point people will emerge again, from submarines or bunkers or mountaintops. They will not have a great time before rebuilding civilization, and their success is not guaranteed, but at least they'll be trying to do so with beautiful rings in the sky.
So that's in a nutshell. Yeah, they have all sorts of them, like, what if the Earth got kicked out of the solar system, or how the dinosaurs actually died. So yeah, give it a look. It's a fun little channel.
Cool. I'm thinking Island
What's that?
in March. I'm thinking of our granddaughter who's gonna come visit us in April.
Oh, well, there you go.
Nice Fallout reference there.
Cool. Well, I'm going to end the recording. Oh, you can end it. Thank you.
Can you discuss why